Okay, so we're going to look at a different method for doing this division called chunking. Chunking is, it's for some of you guys, you understood and you really liked it. For others, you didn't. Use it if you want. Don't use it if you don't want. Just make sure you keep your, either way, both methods need you to keep your information sorted and clear so you can answer correctly. So we're going to use both of the different examples from the previous lesson to show you how it works. So again, we're going to use 85 divided by 5. Now remember, the number first is the dividend, and the number underneath, in front is the divisor. Chunking is we're going to take a look at the 85 as a whole number rather than just breaking it into tens and ones. Okay, so we're going to see how many times does 5 go into 85. Okay, so what can we multiply 5 by that'll go into 85 altogether? We've been kind of doing that with just a 10. How many times does 5 go into 8? But how many times does 5 go into 85? Well, we're going to start with the easiest one possible. We're going to do 5 times 10. 5 times 10 is 50, and we know that's less than 85. So I'm going to write 50 here, and then out to the side, write 5 times 10. Okay, next we're going to subtract out that, and that's going to give me 5 minus 0 is 5, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So I still have 35 left. Next I'm going to see, well, I still have 35 left, so how many times does 5 go into 35? Well, I think also as easy as 10s are, 5s are pretty easy as well. So I'm going to go with 5 times 5, and that gives me 25. I'm going to subtract 25 out of there. 5 minus 5 is 0. 3 minus 2, that is 1. Okay? Now, 5, how many times does 5 go into 10? Well, that one's a pretty easy one, I think. 5 times 2, that equals 10. Okay? And that gives me 10. 0 minus 0 is 0, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Well, as soon as this number either hits 0 or less than the 5, I am done. I am going to be complete. Now, as long as you're making sure to keep your divisor on one side, it should be your divisor. Okay, always do your divisor on one side. Now, what we're going to do then is take a look at all these numbers that are on the other side, and we're going to end up adding these all up. So we then have 10 plus 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 is 17. So the number up here is 17. And let me pull up my notes from the previous lesson. And are we right? Yes, we are. 85 divided by 5, that equals 17. And we got the same answer. So this one, for some, may maybe seem a little bit lengthy for such a simple problem, but when you start to get into bigger numbers, like 9s into 3 digits, it might seem a little easier. So let's take a look at our other example that we had. 58 divided by 4 and what that gave us. So again, setting it up. Alright, now we always start with the easiest ones. Hundreds, tens, things that end in 0 make it really easy for us. Okay, the bigger the number we can start with, the easier it is for us, and it's going to go a lot faster. So 4 times 10, that's 40. That is less than 58, so we can definitely do that. Again, we want to keep low. But also, it doesn't matter if how close we get. I'm sure we can get closer than that here, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, So we're going to subtract here. My goal is to keep this as easy as possible for you guys. 8, 5 minus 4 is 1. So I end up with 18. Now let's see, 4 into 18. Well, I do recognize 8 that I can do, so I can do 4 times 2, because I know 4 times 2 equals 8. Okay, and that subtracted, that's 0 and then 1. Well, I know 8 is less than 10. I just did that one, so I could do that one again. Again, making sure to keep my divisor consistently on one side. Alright, so I have to borrow, and then 10 minus 8, that's 10, that's 2. Okay, 2 is less than 4, so I can't go any further. I'm going to take all of these numbers, add them together. Alright, 2, 4, and then 1, but I cannot forget what I have down here. This ends up being our remainder. So my answer here is 14, remainder 2. Let's check. Is that what we got? 14, remainder 2. That certainly is. So you can see how this chunking works. We will do this again with the bigger numbers, like single 1 digit into 3 digit, and see how that works for us.